Hey everybody, this is Al from El Rey Collection, and today I'm here to talk about the epic cardboard of Gerd Muller, the bomber. He was, an epic striker, not just of his generation, but of all time. He scored more than 500 goals for club and country, more than a goal a game for Germany, and he is just absolutely one of the greats. Any way you want to slice it, he won everything. He scored everywhere. He scored at a crazy rate, and his records, stood the test of time. Look at his Bundesliga goals per season at like 40. Held until just this last year when Lewa, took it down by one. And so he held that record for 50 years. He held the most goals in a calendar year as well. And Messi broke that, I think, a few years ago. Well, maybe it was like eight years ago, but that was, I think it was like 85 goals, and so he's just, absolute prolific scorer. And I think that he's got a lot of upside, frankly, in the future. Right now there's a lot of buzz around because of his passing, but he was just a great. And the more Europeans that come into this market, and the more interest there is in all-time greats of the game, his name's going to be on that list. No matter who's writing the list, he has to be on there, or it's not really a credible list. So, he later in his life, he came, well, at the end of his career, he came to the U.S. to play. I think he played at Tampa Bay. So I'm wearing my National North American Soccer League stuff. He then battled with some demons after soccer, alcoholism, but we all have our demons, and ultimately the last few years of his life were quite tragic. But his career, let's celebrate his career and his epic cardboard, because it all starts off with one of the all-time great photos and cards that exist out there for my taste. Him and the Beckenbauer from this 1965 Bergman set did knock your socks off. Their cards, their thick cardboard, they're beautiful. The beautiful photography. I feel like they took this. They were out there playing in the park, and they're like, "Hey, stop off. Hey, turn around and let's take a picture." But just beautiful, crisp photography of a really young Gerd Muller. So here you can see on the back says 65, 66. So don't confuse this one with the absolute identical front. Watch, I'll move the 65 in, and I'll take it out. Exactly the same photograph for his rookie and his second year. The only way you can tell is if you flip them over and you look at the years on the back. So the backs are quite different. He does have other alternatives as rookie cards. Here's one that I particularly like, but if you don't like in-action cards, you may not like this. I like this because he's celebrating a goal. He's super happy. It's early in his career, and he, is a scoring machine. Little did we all know that he would be doing this hundreds of times after this photograph was taken. This is 1965. There's also a number of TTT in action, rookie cards that you can find, and all mine are at PSA right now, so I don't have any of those to show you, but they're little in action cards with those nice vibrant colors. Here is a second year card. This is 1966, 67, the Sicker Verlag. I love the shape of this. And this is actually a close-up of this card that was used for Bergman. So it's actually cropped higher. You can see here the blue car in the background. And then on this one, just the top of the blue car. So I know it's so nerdy, so detailed, but I really like these foosball parade backs, and just a very, very uncommon one. I just don't see many of those. Another pretty uncommon one is this 1966-67 Icon Verlag. A lot of, whether it was PSA or SGC, they mislabeled this. They have this as 65. This is not a rookie. It's a 66, 67. Regardless, unbelievably beautiful card. Got a little bit more hair here than he does on the rookies, and an awesome back as well. So those are just stellar cards. Here's another, speaking of graded goofs. This is a 1966 Bergman, and here SGC has labeled it 1965. So this is not a rookie. This is a second year card, and these came in and weren't traditionally pasted into albums, so you're going to be able to find these in much higher grade than you will the 65 66s that were cardboard and most typically pasted into albums. So you can still get those pretty inexpensively, and I recommend that you do. I mean, of course, I think the preference is the 65 66. Here's another full body one from 67 68 season. Bergman, look at those legs. I mean, so strong, stocky guy, but he got it done. This one is a 1968 Sicker Verlag, maybe better known for having the Cruyff rookie. But here's Gerd sitting on the ball. And it looks like the balls that I used to play with when I was a kid, right? I guess it makes sense because it wasn't that many years later. But you can see the Bundesliga Ace, which is the same back that the Cruyff has. Just a little off center, otherwise that one would have just been gorgeous. The Bergmans just continued. I love these Bergmans that were done with in cardboard, and getting a 4 and a 5 on these are big grades. Most of all of these cardboard ones are going to have glue on the back, glue remnants, and you can even pick up really low grade cards that are great eye appeal with not a lot of glue damage for I won't say a song anymore, but for an economical price of an absolute crazy superstar. Here's this is the 66-67 Sicker Verlags. So here, this is the double. A lot of these are actually cut on the back, right? And you'll remember from my Cruyff video how there are different backs on the 68 where you could clearly cut, or you were intended to cut them to put them in different spots in the album. SGC will grade those, and actually most of these you'll see out there are going to be singles, and I think completely gradable. So there's some really fun stuff in the late 60s. All of it's pretty much from Germany. There's a stamp also from 65. The TTTs I told you. So there's many different options for the rookies, but for me the Bergman is just so nice. Then you kind of roll into the 1970s, and it starts off with Panini's first World Cup. These obviously come in the 3 backs, which we've discussed before. The Bisvalida, the multi-language back, and the green back. This particular one is the green back, which is the most common. But what's not common about this is the fact that it's a PSA 8. Rolling forward to some of these other, German issues. Look at this, a Bergman, Koenig, and this is just, now he's changing. He's becoming more, in his real prolific prime. Not that young guy growing up anymore. Cool backs on these, although, obviously I don't speak German. I guess I shouldn't say obviously, but I don't. And then you kind of roll into, you're going to see this in a number of issues from Germany, is that Bergman will create a card like this. Look at that stash, right? So they have this Foosball 72. So there they go. And then they partner with Kicker magazine, and they co-brand it down there. So you've got the regular one and the co-branded one. And they did this through a lot of issues in the late 60s and early 70s. Just super cool, though. Back is pretty similar, same numbers, same album. You just got these through Kicker. Here's kind of his legendary team, here, and he's in the middle. Just a nice little team card of just what was just a fantastic team, the early 70s Bayern Munich. And then, he obviously was with the World Cup, and, he was pretty well-known star, and he appears in many different sets in and around the world. In and around the World Cup from all over the world. This particular one comes from Uruguay, with kind of a cool write-up on the back. You also get into these World Cup ones. This is the Calcio, so one was issued in Italy, but there's also similar cards that are issued in Sweden, for this particular year, and I just love the flag and the layout of that particular card. The Bergman then transitioned to kind of these smaller cards that are clean on the front, not a lot of graphics. This is the 74 Bergman. Again, they're sticking with these really kind of nice backs that all have a write up. Every now and then I'll Google Translate and they'll tell you, some of the amazing things that that a player did in those years. So here's another similar one, 74, 75. Again, so lots of choices as you go through his career. If you want to pick some of his best seasons, if you want to pick the World Cup year, if you want to pick rookies, here he looks like the most interesting man in the world, as somebody had mentioned on the Discord. So here he's just looking great as he's aging. Here's I love this back. Look at this, Bundesliga National Elf Americana München. Oh, I love it. Multicolor back. I mean, you just don't see those that much. And then, kind of closing things out here, you get here's another Americana München. A lot of the stars like, Zico and other guys will have cards in that set. So, if Gerd Muller is not on your list, hopefully today you saw something here that you've got to have. You're going to go out there and you're going to collect him. Absolute crazy superstar, not frequently mentioned outside of the last week or so since his passing. But I would really encourage you all, whether you're German fans or not, he is one of the greats of the game, and you should probably pick some of these up if you're long vintage soccer like I am. So hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a like and subscribe. Keeps me motivated to try to do some of these videos. And let me know what you think. Thanks so much, everybody.